I recently watched every Spider-Man movie over this past month, and I realized something. Spider-Man is the perfect superhero. What's funny about this is that before Stan Lee released the Spider-Man comics, he showed the comics to his publisher, and he said, Stan, this is one of the worst ideas I've ever seen. First of all, people hate spiders, so you can't call a book Spider-Man. Second of all, he can't be a teenager. Teenagers can only be sidekicks. And third, he can't have personal problems. He's a superhero. Don't you know what superheroes are? But all these reasons that Stan's publisher stated that would make this character flop is actually what makes Spider-Man so great. So let's get right into it. Now I want to start by talking about the art of ass kicking. And I don't mean Spider-Man kicking villains' asses. I mean the story kicking Spider-Man's ass. Specifically the way they kick his ass to give him a motivation. For Batman, it's his parents dying and him becoming an orphan. That's super sad. But I think Spider-Man takes this concept and does it the best I've ever seen. Let's talk about Uncle Ben's death. Obviously, it's devastating. But what makes this scene so great is the art of choice. In Batman, it's just unlucky. Compared to Tobey's Spider-Man, he literally lets this dangerous criminal out the door, saying that it wasn't his problem. And the result is that robber ends up shooting Ben. Now Peter has gained a new perspective in life. He will never say that's not my problem ever again, especially after Uncle Ben says, with great power comes great responsibility. Because if Peter had that philosophy in the first place, Uncle Ben would be alive. Now the death of Bruce's parents does cause a change of philosophy for him, but I think just the addition of choice for Peter and making him decline stopping the robber, it just adds so much depth to the scene that Batman's ass-kicking scene does not contain. And I can go on about ass-kicking forever when talking about Spider-Man, because they kick his ass so much. Even outside of Uncle Ben's death scene, he's treated like a freak, has to watch his friend date the girl he loves, and even during the Uncle Ben scene, he had every right to do what he did. That asshole didn't give him the money that he earned, so why would he help him? Well, I'll tell you why, because with great power comes great responsibility. And that leads into my next segment, the art of responsibility. Because this is specific towards Spider-Man. Not every superhero movie has an Uncle Ben death scene that changes everything for him. So now post Uncle Ben's death, Peter lives by that, and he gets his ass kicked. And the way this happens is that due to Spider-Man living by this philosophy, it costs Peter Parker his life. Let's look at the Tom Holland movies for example. Spider-Man always has to make the choice that leads to saving people. And these choices made by Spider-Man always negatively affects Peter Parker's life. In Spider-Man Homecoming, Peter's goal is to bag this girl. So he asks her to prom, she says yes, and things look dandy. So Peter goes to prom with her, but Peter ends up having to leave prom to be Spider-Man and stop the Vulture. And what does Peter get out of this? Not the girl, because it turns out the Vulture is the girl's dad, and he just sent him to jail. So she's moving away now. Then in Far From Home, you see he wants something similar. Just to have a break from Spider-Man, enjoy the trip to Europe, and get closer to MJ. But he ends up having to choose to be Spider-Man to stop Mysterio. And what does Peter Parker get out of this? His identity being shared to the world. But now if you want to see the best way this was done, let's look at No Way Home. In No Way Home, he wants to fix the problem that everyone knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man. But he ends up fucking up Doctor Strange's spell, and now there are a bunch of villains from other dimensions that are in his world. But the problem is, all these villains are gonna die if they end up going back to the world. So what does Spider-Man choose to do? He tries to cure them, and he tries to make them good people by using this antidote thingy. So as Spider-Man, he chooses to save them. And the result for Peter Parker is that Aunt May dies, and the characters we've watched for the last 3 movies don't remember Peter Parker anymore, because that was the only way to save everyone else. By creating a new spell that makes everyone forget Peter Parker. Holy, that's awful for Peter. I've seen people say it would be really cool to be a superhero, but I don't think anyone's lining up to be Spider-Man, no matter how cool it is to shoot webs and stuff, because the cost of being Spider-Man is losing everything. And that is the key reason why Spider-Man is so great, because he always makes the choice to help others as Spider-Man, even though it kills Peter Parker. Now let's talk about the art of mercy, which is displayed really well in the past 2 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. So in Spider-Man No Way Home, like I said earlier, Aunt May is killed, and she's killed by the Green Goblin. And at the end of the movie, Peter and Green Goblin face off. And Peter's got him right where he wants him. He beats the shit out of him after murdering the only living family member he has left. Or not even left anymore because she's dead. I got major satisfaction from this scene, and I wanted Spider-Man to kill Green Goblin. He just killed Aunt May. Fuck him. I would have totally been fine with it. But with the guidance of Tobey Spider-Man, he shows mercy. And this gets amplified in Spider-Man Brand New Day. In the third act of this movie, he could easily fight Jean Grey. Jean Grey just pretended to be MJ and acted like she knew who he was, which is all Peter wants. Peter realizing that MJ is actually just Jean Grey, super sad. That scene is devastating, and it shows how evil Jean Grey truly is. And that's not even considering the fact that she's murdered people. And what does Peter do in response? Kill her? No, he saves her through relating to her, letting her go inside his mind and realizing that she isn't actually alone. And then after, he literally takes a bullet for this girl, who has done super evil things. Peter showing mercy in these situations is very impressive, but also just reinforces that Peter's just a great dude. And he's better than me, because they would all be dead if I was Spider-Man. And he does these things because with great power comes great responsibility. And that's the story of Peter Parker. It's incredibly sad, but it's also incredible to see him live by this even after everything he's been through. But now let's close this out with the art of relatability. Peter Parker attending high school is something that I think is super important to his relatability. I think fans find it very easy to connect with him, and it's because everyone went to high school. Comparing him to other superheroes, not everyone's a rich millionaire, not everyone is a literal god, and not everyone took super soldier serum and came out buff and lived in the 40s. Peter Parker lives a simple, normal, and modern life, and that is great for relatability. So yeah, that's why Spider-Man is the perfect superhero. Despite how awesome it looks when he's shooting webs or moving all athletically and cool and stuff, that's not the reason why he's the perfect superhero, although it definitely helps. It's because he gets his ass kicked tremendously. The choices he makes as Spider-Man negatively affects Peter Parker's life and the relatability of Spider-Man. But yeah, that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos. But yeah, that's the video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.